Welcome.
Willkommen.
Bienvenue.
Willkommen.
Welcome to the MindGrapes Podcast.
Welcome, MindGrapes Nation, to episode 6 of the MindGrapes Podcast. Today is April 2nd, 2022, and I am joined by special guest Blair Bowler.
What's up?
And as always, Trent
Seems to be
Reese.
like he's becoming a regular.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
I know, he's basically moved in here.
Yeah.
You like it? I love it.
Yeah, so how you guys doing today?
Great, a little tired.
Really?
But,
tired? Why
yeah.
are you tired, Trent?
Well, we had our second baby this week. So we got discharged on Thursday.
Congratulations.
So we've had 2 nights back in the house, and yeah.
We saw a picture. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's a
But has he
cute
been
little dude.
Has he been sleeping?
The first night, absolutely not. The first night was hell. And Johnny and I, it was probably 4 a.m. We hadn't fallen asleep yet, and we were, going crazy. Last night was a lot better. He woke up for his feedings and then slept the rest of the night. It was perfect. Yeah, so making progress. I know, this thing is kind of in peaks and valleys as far as how they sleep and eat and everything, but
I'm just 3 weeks ahead of you. So, but it's I will say this, man, and you already know because you have a kid, but having a baby and you play with other people's babies, but once you have your own, it is like it's a different thing.
completely different.
It is. There's like it unlocks this place in your heart. It's just like crazy. Like I can just stare at my baby like a movie or something, just for hours and hours, and just stare at her and just it's amazing.
You guys keep having babies, and I'll babysit, and you can pay me in crypto.
That works. Yeah.
I can't afford it.
The funny thing is too, like you see your baby and you're like, oh my gosh, it's the cutest baby I've ever seen. There's never been a more perfect baby. And we thought this with our first kid. And don't get me wrong, like Emmett is a super cute little kid now.
Yeah.
But now when we go back and look at pictures of him when he was a newborn, we're like, oh my
It's not
gosh,
as
he's
cute
like a
as-
little
not as cute
alien.
as
Yeah,
that.
he had the male pattern baldness. Legitimately had male pattern baldness. Looked like a grumpy little old man, like Benjamin Button syndrome. But it's okay. He's really cute now. So
Oh, that's awesome. Man. It's so great, man. And it brings. I have to say that this has brought me closer to my wife too, Taylor. Just seeing motherly instincts kick in, and just how hard she works and how disciplined she is. Because it isn't easy, Like no one wants to wake up throughout the night and care for a baby who should be sleeping. Like, why are you not tired? You were screaming 5 hours prior to, but it is just. It's been awesome, man. So, congratulations again. It's
thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
Hopefully,
Truly blessed.
well, we're glad to have you here. We're glad you cut out some time to come join us. So, okay, let's go ahead and kick it off. We're going to start again with Blair today. What is on your mind, Grapes?
I wish I can say March Madness is on my mind, Grapes. That's what's been absorbing all my time. But I did start WeCrashed, and I'm all caught up. It's great. It's wonderful.
Why do you like it?
It's the something about Jared Leto's like acting, man. Like he really
He
gets
gets
into
into
it.
it,
Like he
yeah.
really gets into it, and it makes me cringe with the impulse because I'm like, man, that's not a good idea. Like it's a terrible idea. But Anne Hathaway, man, like it's like I didn't think it was gonna focus on her as much, but it's been really drawn to her character and like her development throughout the show. It's pretty interesting. I also see you can literally see the climb of just misery here soon, of just the money that they're just going in debt. But I mean it's a great show. I'm glad they don't release the entire series just so I can have something to look forward to every Friday. But
And interesting, on last week's episode, you critiqued how much the show focused on Anne Hathaway's character and that relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, so just expand on that, please.
So I don't know why. So she's the cousin of Gwyneth Paltrow, right?
In real life.
In real life. Yeah. And I know there's something a little nutty about her. Like if you go back and you watch, like you can watch all these things unfold. That's one of the great things about these modern scam artists is you can just pop on YouTube and see all of that stuff was filmed. Whereas, I don't know, if something happened in the 60s, it was all lost and just whoever wrote the movie got to take artistic license. but I don't know why they made so much about her, but I think she did heavily influence him.
Yeah.
Not, but here's something that was interesting that I just noticed. What's her name? I forget her name. But Anne Hathaway, the real actress, Newman. What's her? Rebecca Newman.
Rebecca Newman. Yeah.
She has what the English call lamb's teeth. Where you have like that really high gum.
Mm-hmm.
Anne Hathaway, if you notice, she's wearing an implant.
Really?
To make her teeth look like that, which is
didn't
really
know that.
interesting because she does have a bit of an overbite. Something that I just looked it up. Rami Malek did. I didn't know this for Bohemian Rhapsody to look like Freddie Mercury.
I think it was a lot more noticeable in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes,
it was almost like
because
ridiculous.
Freddie Mercury looked. I mean, he had this huge jaw.
Yeah.
But if you in Bohemian Rhapsody, like it tells, he had an extra tooth, which opened him up, which gave him the ability to sing higher octaves. Which is Freddie Mercury. I mean, the man, the voice. His voice was just unparalleled. But I thought that was interesting about Anne Hathaway. Also, to your point about Jared Leto, he's like a method actor, right? Apparently, like
he spends weeks and weeks researching the role, getting into the role, and he lives that role outside of the movie and show. So,
by that standard, he'd be going around speaking with an Israeli accent 100% of the time.
I admire that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. But it also you could definitely tell that they fit that role. As opposed to other actors and actresses that just all right, you can tell that they're acting. But he lives, I would have thought this was the actual guy.
Go back and I just encourage you, if you go and watch some of their Summerfest stuff and you see him in the background, he's doing, even the way he walks is identical to Adam Neuman.
Yeah.
The only drawback is, I don't know how tall Jared Leto is, but Adam Neuman, his appeal was he was he's 6'5", and his other co-founder's 6'7". So they just towered over everyone. Crazy.
It is interesting.
So
I did get to watch an episode of WeCrashed the night before we went to the hospital. So I think it was episode 3, but I'm a couple episodes behind now. Yeah. But again, great show. I'm a huge fan of it.
It's so good. And he's so good. And once again, dude, Jared Leto is over 50. Can you believe that?
No.
Dude, I heard a podcast, or I was listening to a podcast not long ago, and they were talking about grumpy old men. Do you remember that movie growing up, Grumpy Old Men? I forget, Walter Matthau or something like that. Those men were in their 60s. I mean, they look geriatric, but by the time Jared Leto, or even you look at Tom Cruise, these men were the same age as grumpy old men.
Yeah. And I think we have a lot of benefits with, 1, CGI, and 2, with plastic surgery. Let's be honest, these guys are getting plastic surgery. It's not just the girls.
But there's other things. I mean, okay, people aren't smoking as much, which I know. Maybe they don't. I bet they don't drink, and I'm sure their diet is who's the Patriots quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I'm sure their diet is just impeccable, right? But it's crazy. I was thinking about blood trans. I wonder if Hollywood has access to crazy medical, experimental, youth, fountain of youth type stuff that we don't.
Yeah, as long as it's labeled a supplement.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you can take blood from a younger person and use that blood, and it makes you look more youthful. They've done studies in rats where that, and I wonder if they do that, if they just
wasn't all right. This is the conspiracy theory, but you're on Twitter, you're exposed to conspiracy theories everywhere. But I remember in the 2016 election, that was the big thing with Hillary Clinton. People were saying she was getting blood transfusions from younger people, but yeah, totally unfounded, by the way. But it's just funny.
Yeah, same people who put fluoride in our water to keep us compliant. Okay, so what haven't you liked?
You're talking about my MindGrapes?
Yeah.
So DMZ.
Okay.
It's on HBO Max, and apparently it's a DC short series, and I thought it was a longer series. It's really only 4 episodes, but It has Rosario Dawson and Benjamin Bratt. You know him from I want to say it's Law and Order, but and he's in a lot of other films. But it's a weird plot, and I gave it a thumbs down. But I would encourage anybody who likes good acting to still watch it because it is good acting. Just the plot was just super weird. There's a civil war in Manhattan, and now Manhattan is cordoned off from America, and so like Manhattan is run by street gangs, and
It's like Warriors.
yeah,
Remember that movie?
legitimately
From
that's
the
what
80s?
it is.
Really?
Dude, that movie. I haven't seen this movie, but I love Warriors. Sorry.
And that's really what it is. Like they're trying to figure out who's going to run the Manhattan out of the gangs, but like Rosario's coming in, and she's just trying to save her son.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, what is this plot?
So Warriors meets Escape from New York.
It sounds like too. What's the Will Smith movie? I Am Legend.
Oh, I Am Legend.
It literally like looks like that too.
Okay.
Like it
So
looks like I Am.
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's post Civil War, so
Okay.
the U.S. is pending
hmm
like to invade
Yeah.
Manhattan to take it over again, while they just have their own world in New York. It's weird, but great acting.
Great acting.
Okay.
But it didn't quite.
I wasted my time
Okay.
with the plot, but I can appreciate that they did put effort into their roles because they are esteemed actors and actresses. So
Rosario Dawson, she's awesome. She was in Dope Sick most recently, where she played like the hard hitting investigator. But that was a great series. Michael Keaton was great. Okay. What else? What are you most looking forward to watching?
I haven't watched. I also did. I know we talked about it in the last episode. I did finish Bridgerton.
Okay.
I did finish it.
I've been hearing some good things about it.
I mean, it was good. I'm not really into the whole, you know,
Victorian era
yeah,
love story.
I'm good on it.
You
Man.
sure Jane Austen isn't your thing?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. I did watch The Bowling Girl, but like, I can be utilizing my time elsewhere. But what I would like to watch is the new movie Ambulance,
Yes.
the Michael Bay film.
Yep. That was actually going to be on my watch list too.
Oh, really?
I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be the visuals are going to be crazy.
Yeah, because Michael
it's
Bay.
Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Where's he
So-
been? He's been out of the game for a while, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure of the movies that he's made as of late, besides, Bad Boys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just looking forward to the visuals. I mean, the plot is probably going to be very...
Yeah. It's interesting concept for a movie though,
Yeah.
especially for a Michael Bay film. It's not this superhero-esque
Right.
type of movie. Got more of a realism flair to it, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. With Jake Gyllenhaal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just added it
Which
to my
that's
mind.
why it kind of gets me excited. It's almost like you ever see Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Creepy.
Super creepy movie, but
Yeah.
I was riveted that entire movie. So as long as it can provide that kind of flavor to it, because that's when I think of Jake Gyllenhaal, that's the kind of acting I think of. So I'm really excited for this movie.
Did you see Nocturnal Animals?
No.
That was like Nightcrawler, but way slower, a little bit freakier, like this
Like Donnie Darko almost.
ish kind of
Yeah.
plot. I never understood why Donnie Darko became such a cult classic.
I think it was just because it was so different. Like I like Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
I'll watch it every couple years or so.
Really?
Super weird movie, super creepy. I think there's a lot of like metaphorical undertones to it as well, which is why there's partially a cult following.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah, so Ambulance, now you know what's on my watch list too.
Okay, sweet. You got anything else?
That's it, man.
Well, let me hit Womble's Hardware. If you're in the Lillington, North Carolina area, stop by Womble's Hardware to fulfill all your hardware, building, and gardening needs. Womble's Hardware. If they don't have it, you don't need it. Okay, Trent,
Yes.
what's on your mind grapes?
All right. So as we've already alluded to, I spent most of this past week in the hospital. So let's just say that the movies or the shows that I was looking for whilst in the hospital were those mental bubblegum shows.
Sure.
So I had never watched Ted Lasso in my life. I think in one of the previous shows I mentioned I didn't have an Apple TV subscription, but I got an Apple TV subscription for WeCrashed. So in the hospital, I started watching Ted Lasso. and it is such a great show. Like I'm halfway through season 2. Season 2's not as great as season 1 as I thought, but I love the characters. I love the story. Like, I care about these characters so much, and so I want to see them do well and succeed. And the comedy is top notch. I think it's a little taste of, it's a blend of American humor and British style humor. Like, I remember there was this one particular scene where it was almost like it was straight out of Monty Python.
Right.
And it's right up my alley as far as the comedy goes and the type of humor. And so many quotes in that show that you could just throw out in everyday life. And I'm gonna try to throw out there in everyday life because they're just so great.
It reminds me of an earlier Adam Sandler type plot. So Adam Sandler's old movies where he's like the rich guy, I don't know, or Big Daddy, or what's the one where he was rich, or like he's and he gives away all his money, but he's like this really sweet, genuine sweetheart guy. And Jason Sudeikis, his character, you can't dislike him.
No.
And he enters into a realm where he's not appreciated. People are like, he was hired at kind of as a joke, but you can't help but love him.
The interesting thing about his character is, he walks into a room and you could probably tell, being a spectator, that he is, the smartest person in that room, but he lets everybody else believe that they're the smartest person.
Yeah.
And he's so self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And part of the reason too why I'm so a little hesitant on season 2 is because they're getting into kind of the background of Ted Lasso, where he's not just this happy-go-lucky type of guy, that there's kind of more to him as a character.
Yeah.
So I respect that they're showing that. I just think it might be a little overdone.
It darkens it up.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be this dark show.
And maybe a second season wasn't. Maybe they kind of hurt themselves by making a second season.
Yeah. So I'm, gonna finish the second season. Hopefully there's more seasons following that. But I just like the fun, happy, like Ted Lasso. So I hope they get back to that.
Yeah.
And I want the football team to start winning.
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
Yeah.
But he's like the Mr. Deeds guys. Like, I don't really care about money. I don't care about, and I'm gonna make you a little cake every day, which is, I mean, that was really, really sweet. Like, you got to be made of stone to not get a little choked up. Like,
and another character that I like in Ted Lasso is Keely. They could have made her this really like egg-headed bimbo. Sorry, but there's so much to her. She's super intelligent. Yeah, I really like her character too. Just I care about all of the Ted Lasso characters.
They're great.
Yeah,
they're sweet. I feel like the mean guy, the mean soccer player, he really overdoes his accent, and he tries to speak really low. And it's like, he's English.
Yeah,
but I think he's pushing this Cockney accent. I don't think that's.
But I love it. Every time he says like those 2-word like little quips. And it's in a heavy,
back off.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, you taking a piss, mate. Well, this is what's so interesting about movies. Like, I'll see something and I won't appreciate it, but other people do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like you really, I think it's a testament to how movies are made and the right balance. Whereas you're always some people may dislike something, but other people do like something. Anyway, so you like Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. So we touched on WeCrashed last week, and we touched on it a little bit today. So that's another one I'm keeping up with.
WeCrashed. Get on, watch it. It is so good.
Still the dropout. There's too many shows to watch right now, which is what we alluded to. This is the golden age of streaming with the high quality content. So still on a lot of those movies we've talked about in the past. One show that I finally clicked I didn't like on, and I got a little bit of hate for it, was the Boba Fett series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I gave it 2 episodes, right? Was 2 episodes in, and I was just like, I can't get into this. It's really, really slow. It doesn't have that same feel as The Mandalorian. And part of some of the feedback that I got from G-Day, another MindGrapes super user, was you have to wait until episode 5, episode 6, where it starts getting really good. me, I kind of have a short attention span, and if I'm going to invest, an hour into every episode of a series, I want to be interested from episode one, which is kind of the why I'm so excited about WeCrashed and all these other shows, because they get you hooked immediately. So Boba Fett, I don't think I'm going to finish it. I'm not going to watch episode 3 through finish. Didn't like it. If you guys like it out there, all the power to you. Just not for me.
Well, I mean,
I haven't watched Boba Fett yet. I watched Mandalorian.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
I'm not, but I like shows like that. So
yeah, I haven't even really touched it. Part of it's
do the Mandalorian first.
Mandalorian's great. That's what I was hoping for some of that in Boba Fett, but I couldn't get excited about this series.
So here's the problem when you take someone's password to get on. You forget what the password is, but it's like locked on your Fire Stick. So I have it in my bedroom, but I don't have it out in my living room, which means I only watch certain Disney sometimes. Like we have to go into the bedroom to watch Disney. So,
yeah.
But if Mandalorian's good, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I highly recommend Mandalorian.
Okay.
Another one that I'm excited about, a Star Wars spinoff, is Obi-Wan. When that comes out, so I'm gonna give that a shot.
Is that gonna come straight to streaming, or is it?
I think it is. I think it's going to Disney Plus. Yeah, and while we're on Disney Plus, let's just say, I have a 2.5-year-old. So we started watching, it was a Mickey Mouse adaptation that was released like this year or the end of last year, and it's like The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse or something. We were hoping for a Mickey Mouse show for kids.
Yeah.
It's one of the darkest series I've ever watched in my life. It's got like that Courage the Cowardly Dog kind of animation style. So for those of you that like that style, I'd say it's for a more mature crowd, because it was freaking out my 2-year-old.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Disney, they're wrapped up in scandal right now, so I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. So that's on your watch list.
Yeah.
Anything else on your watch list?
Ambulance we touched on.
Okay.
That's one I'm really excited about.
That's probably going to go to theaters.
Yeah.
Which a feature we are trying to hook up. So
yeah.
If anyone watching knows anyone at Fandango how to get, we want to plug that in so you can buy movie tickets on the app.
Yeah.
But like with everything, it is very, very complicated. Just like the sign-in, by the way, a new feature on
this is a fun one.
Yeah, we're gonna have the Google, Facebook, and Apple sign-in, so that will make it very, very seamless to log in. And some people, even though Google handles our authentication anyway, some people just feel more comfortable with, I guess, signing in with your Gmail, a password, or something like that. So
yeah. So for those of you that were hesitant out there to sign up, and create your own MindGrapes account, you'll be able to now with a Google email or Facebook and any of those sign-in options.
Which I love Apple sign-in, by the way. That's that makes life super simple. I love what they've done with apps too, where you just do face authentication. It just downloads very quickly. Yeah, great, man. Trent, or actually Blair, do you have a question you'd like to ask me?
Yes. So based off the last episode, we got a couple followers.
Oh, nice.
And they're obviously upset that they have an F.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
so
yeah, the mind grade. This is a controversial feature.
Mind grade. Did you see my post?
I did.
I created the 1 star. They don't care about their users' feelings. Yeah, everyone starts off with an F minus.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you have an A plus on mind grade, as a mind grade, does that mean you're a better person?
No,
I don't know. Does it?
Probably.
I think there's some debate, but I think if you have an A, you're probably a better person than someone with an F. I'm speculating there. So, the easiest way to get your mind grade up is to invite people, which is very, very simple. Actually, I'll pull it up at the end. Actually, let's throw it in post. There's a little plus button at the top with a person on it. You press plus. A name search can appear. You probably have 1 million contacts like me, so start typing their name and press invite. It's that easy. And then you will get points as soon as they sign up. So that's the fastest way to get to an A+. So thank you for hitting that, Trent.
Yeah. So one thing when we were in the beta stage of this app, this is one of those fun ideas that we threw out there, and we were like, we're in test flight in the beta. Let's just try it and see what the response is. And so when MindGrapes launched, it was almost instantaneous of people texting both me and Clark saying, "What is this? Why do I have an F minus?" It's just one of those funny things. One, to incentivize people to use the app and start using all of the features of the app, and two, because it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
we just think it's funny.
It is hysterical. You came up with the MindGrapes name, which I thought, what was I was throwing something else around.
We were trying to think of like some kind of rewards or
like
redemption or loyalty.
Grapevine treats or
Yeah.
like, oh, no, Meow Meow Beans.
Yeah.
I was going to
Meow
call
Meow
it Meow
Beans.
Meow Beans from Community.
This was something you threw to both Blair and I, and we were like, nah.
Well, it was from a show in Community, and I thought it was so funny. But if you didn't watch Community, kind of like the name MindGrapes, if you didn't watch, people who do watch 30 Rock, they're like, oh, I know where this is from, because it's such a catchy, like, it's associating two crazy things, right? But okay, cool. So invite more people. We appreciate everyone. If you invite other people, we are so grateful. MindGrapes is so much more fun with other friends on it, and it works. The recipe works. Like, you will have great content because it takes on average 5 minutes for people to find something to watch. And then once you start watching something you don't like, it takes you another 5. It can just, we call it.
Two, it gets the conversation going in the app, but more importantly, it gets conversation going in person as well. One thing we've noticed, because we are all in the same school program together, we can spend 30 minutes to an hour out of class every day, in between breaks, where we're just talking about what we're watching, what we like, what we didn't like. So
yeah, but when I sit down with my wife, I don't want to sit there for 30 minutes searching for something.
Yeah,
that's why we call it Netflix with skill. Okay, Trent, you got a question for me?
Yeah. So now that we've kind of discussed what we're watching, what we've liked, what's on your MindGrapes this week?
What is on my MindGrapes? So this is super. So I got some good stuff today, and that's my little baby crying in the background. How are we on time?
We're sitting about 27 minutes.
27 minutes. Okay, I can do this quickly. So yesterday, a Judd Apatow movie came out called The Bubble, and it's a comedy, and it has like Judd Apatow's daughter. It has one second. It has Michael, what's his name? Keegan-Michael Key, who is the funny. I mean,
hilarious.
He's so stupid funny. It just like, I think he could just stand there, not do anything, and I would laugh. But then, on the other hand, it has this guy named Guz Khan. Do you know who that is?
No.
He must have like 1 billion followers on Instagram. Man, it's not funny. Just gets really loud. It speaks really loud. It says the F word a lot, and I'm like, that isn't comedy. But it has Leslie Mann, Kate McMinnon, Pedro Pascal. The cast is very, very, very funny. The script is so dumb. I mean, it could not be more dumb. It's a group of actors in the COVID pandemic who are brought into a bubble. So they're just brought into this.
It's like the NBA bubble.
This manor, yeah. They're brought to a manor in England, and they're shooting a fifth sequel to some dumb like Mountain Dragons or something like that, and basically, I think they just improvise. It's just basically them doing stuff, and then there's TikTok video here, and then they're complaining about going crazy, and then they're complaining, hey, this is so terrible. They're treating us bad as actors, even though everyone's like, hey, you guys are in this beautiful manner getting served left and right, but you have servants, and you're complaining because everyone else is. But there were enough laugh out loud bits for me to be like, okay, I give it a thumbs up.
Well, that's kind of funny too, because you remember about 4 months into the COVID-19 pandemic, you had all of these A-list celebrities posting on social media like, stay safe, we're all in this together. And it's like, no, we're not all in this together, because while we're, like, people are losing their jobs because businesses are shutting down and all this, you have servants and, Grubhub and Uber Eats coming to your house every day. Like, you're still making royalties off of whatever movie you made in 1997. So it's kind of funny. Yeah. That sparked, that thought.
And they hit that. Like, there's like a movie producer who's like out in, I don't know, in Malta or something on a yacht. And she's like, it's like, I thought the world was locked down. Yeah, they are. but for rich people, we can go and do whatever we want. So there's enough funny parts. I think the plot was really dumb, but there's some parts that are just like kind of boring. But overall, very, very overall, there's enough funny bits,
like belly laughing
bits. Like just one, like Keegan-Michael Key, and they all get together, and they've been put in quarantine several times. So because one person tests positive, and then they get they're like, no, I'm not going back. And so they all get together, and one of the Pablo, whatever his name is, he has drugs, so they all do cocaine together, and they're like. There's just a dumb scene where Keegan's like, I gotta go, and he's gonna go grab someone, and he does like this huge like gymnast like backflip. It's so dumb. He doesn't. It's obviously a stunt double. But it's out of nowhere. But it's just, that's the kind of stuff I really love.
Have you seen the movie Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Is it that type of comedy?
No, it's more. Oh man, Adam Sandler has a movie with David Spade where David Spade. He's like he does like gymnast move and like
I know what you're talking about.
Where he can like do the handstand and it looks like a perfect gymnast.
And it, like throughout the entire movie, they're like, how are you doing that?
Or like in the other guys where Mark Wahlberg learns ballet ironically. It's like I can do that, and it doesn't show Mark Wahlberg. It just shows his feet.
Yeah,
and it's obviously a trained ballet. I love that stuff. Okay, so that's awesome.
The Bubble.
Okay. Watch it. I don't know. It's dumb if you want to fill 2 hours, but it's funny, and there's enough funny bits in it to make it worth it. I just came across Moon Knight. I don't know. I'm not a comic book guy really, but this is a Marvel show, and I saw one episode. So far, it's really good. It's got Ethan Hawke, and it's just I won't dig too deep into it. So far, really good. Here's something I'm going to hit really quick before we get out of here. Severance.
Yeah,
you have Apple TV.
Yeah.
This plot is very unique. It's about a guy working at a pharmaceutical company, and they have a procedure in order to keep their secrets very safe. They have a procedure that severs your memory. So you live a double life. Awesome plot. Adam Scott, is that his name?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Just, it is like these people, like I can't say enough about it. It's a bit dark. Yeah, Adam Scott. It's a bit dark. It's so good.
Yeah. This is another show. Part of the reason why I subscribed to Apple TV.
And there's this just 1970s flavor. It's a very strange flavor, and there's just the people inside of this, they have like melon parties. Like you're gonna get a melon part. I can't even explain it. It's the work of some artistic genius. So whoever was working on this screenplay was obviously intimately understood what they were doing. Mm-hmm. This wasn't The Bubble where it's like, hey, let's just get a bunch of funny people together.
Let's get a camera rolling.
Yeah, right. Improvise, say something funny. It wasn't like that. This is one of those really well thought out type of series.
More cerebral.
Yeah, really cerebral. Really just pay attention. And it's kind of slow, but for me, it's just kept me hooked enough. And also, they're releasing one episode a week, too. So I got caught up, and I think there's several more episodes to go. It's just
so hard right now. We all have like 6 shows that we're watching and have to keep track of on a weekly basis.
And then still write reflection papers and just whatever.
Yeah.
I'm getting burnt out. This semester's burning me out, too. Yeah. I don't know where you are, but I'm ready. I'm ready to be done with this.
Yes.
So
I think we all are.
Yeah. But let me hit my other company. I'm gonna hit Lamont Rewards. So I mean, I know this applies to about 0 people in the audience, but if you own or operate an aesthetic practice in the U.S. or Canada and want to stop relying on expensive Google and Facebook ads that don't yield the results and patient conversions they used to, try out a loyalty program. Lamont Rewards makes starting a loyalty program turnkey. They even integrate with Nextech electronic health record. Stop paying for patients and incentivize referrals and repeat business with rewards. Lamont Rewards. Okay.
Good plug.
Thanks, man. So that's it. I mean, I watched, I'll say I gave Byron Bays and Trust No One a thumbs down, but if it didn't catch my attention, I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
To it. Byron Bayes is like siesta key for Australia.
Okay.
So mental bubblegum, but we need to create a term for shows that we watch with our wives to placate our wives that we end up liking. Let's think of something great.
Okay. Or for those of you listening, if you have a good idea
Yeah.
or any show or movie that fits that category,
Yes.
Either send us a message or drop it down in the comments section.
Actually, feedback at themindgrapes.com. I put that. I have a new alias. So go ahead and send that over to us. Let us know. Let us know if there's a feature you think would be great. Anything. Hit us on Twitter, on our socials. Trent lives at 1314. I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. So we got any closing remarks?
No. Good week. Good episode. I'm going to try to get some sleep this week.
Hopefully.
So I'm refreshed for next week's episode.
Congratulations again. And to everyone in Texas, I hope you got enough of spring the one day it lasted. We are back in 87-degree weather. So make sure your AC is turned on because it's just crazy hot, crazy humid. Hot. Okay, well, I guess that's a wrap. Episode 6. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for everyone who's still with us, and have a great Mind Grapes Saturday.
All right.
Fiesta.
Yeah, we should plug that.